Hey family, I'm Paula G and welcome to Fit at 60 and Beyond, where you don't have to be 60 or beyond, but we challenge you to be fit holistically, mind, body, and spirit. I'm glad that you've joined us, and I would like for you to stay connected with us. You can reach out on my email at paulagvoice.com. My social media generally is Paula G Voice, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find me. Also at the Paula G Show on Twitter is at the Paula G Show. I have another Twitter handle on Twitter as well. I'm so glad that you all have joined me. These are segments that I began, one out of request from some of you, and two because I wanted to put something together where you all could get a quick snapshot, get some encouragement as we all continue this journey called life. And indeed, this current time, we are all on a journey. And I need to set my, sometimes this whole technology thing can be a challenge, but we got to work through that as well. But, we are all on a journey right now. At the time of this viewing, we are all dealing with this whole pandemic. And prayerfully, some of you will be watching this on the other side of this pandemic. And if you are, today's message can apply to you as well. And it is entitled, The Hand That You Have Been Dealt. And I've told this story before about when I was a little girl, I had an uncle, my godfather. He's my godfather. And he played this game with me. And I know I'm dating myself when I say this. It was called Old Maids. Do some of you ladies remember that game, Old Maid? So it was a card game where, and I think you had to match. I remember the mailman, and was it the postman? And I can't remember the rest of them, but it was a card of 52 decks, and you had to, match them all up. Anyway, he played the, he would sit and play this game with me. Now, granted, that was not his game of choice. We talking back in the day, he had the suit on and the fedora and the cigar, and But that was my uncle. Now, he was cool. That was my godfather. He was cool. And anyway, I remember one time he sat down and played. He was sitting playing the game with me, and he dealt the hand, and I looked at it, and I didn't like the cards I had. I didn't like them. So I was like, oh, let's deal this again, because I want a different card. I don't like these cards. I want different cards. He's like, no, you're going to play that hand. That cigar hanging out of my mouth. He said, no, you're going to play that hand. So I'm like, Uncle, no, I don't like it. I want different cards. I started whining. You know how you do when you're 6, 7 years old? I started whining. So he said, nope, you're going to play that hand. So I had, proceeded to have a little temper tantrum. Like we little girls do when we're, a little bit spoiled, because he did spoil me a little bit. And, I started having this temper tantrum, and I was noticing that it wasn't having any effect. He just sat in that chair, just as cool as a cucumber, had that suit on, that hat, that fedora tipped to the side, that cigar, and that little short glass with the little brown, well, anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. He just sat there, he didn't move. And finally I stopped, I looked at him, and he said, whenever you finish doing whatever it is that you're doing down there, get back in that chair and play the hand that you've been dealt, because life is not going to deal you another hand. Wow. That was a powerful lesson. That was, at that young age, that was a powerful lesson that I have learned that to this day has really helped me through some challenges in my life. So I wanted to share with you today, take a few moments to share with you today some pointers, some tips, some advice. And it's not a complete list, it's just some suggestions that I have about the hand that you have been dealt and dealing with the hand that you have been dealt in life. And these are just some 5 quick suggestions that I have in dealing with the hand that you have been dealt. Number 1, look at your options. What are your options? You've been dealt this situation. And I know a lot of times we try to run from the situations that we have to deal with. We don't want to deal with them. We try to avoid them. We try to run from them. We try to bury them, but they're there. And eventually we have to deal with whatever this situation is, whether we like it or not. So you got to look at your options. Look at your options. When I was in the school system, I used to tell my students when they were trying to make a decision about something, I would tell them to look at the pros, look at the cons, list the pros and list the cons. And I always told them that whatever decision you make, when we make decisions, we automatically inherit the consequences of those decisions, of those choices, whether it's a positive consequence, negative consequence, known or unknown. We inherit the consequence of that choice when we make decisions. So you got to look at your pros. You have to look at your cons and consider these when you're making a decision as to how to handle this particular situation. What are your pros? What are your cons? Weighing the difference. One list may be longer than the other. They may be, close to the same. I don't know. But you gotta weigh your pros and you gotta weigh your cons. One thing that has helped me has been to always look at my worst case scenario. What is the worst possible thing that can happen? Now, aside from death, what is the worst possible thing that can happen? Figure out a solution to that. Might not be a favorable solution, but you can figure out a solution. Figure out a solution to the worst case scenario. Figure that out. For me, that's always been half the battle. Figuring out the worst case scenario. I have learned it's been a challenge for me because it has been a challenge in the past to ask for help, to seek guidance, but there is wisdom in seeking guidance. Has somebody else been through this same scenario? Someone that you trust, someone that can be objective, someone that can give you some sound advice. Has someone else been through this scenario or a similar situation? What did they do? Seek advice from different people who have gone through a similar situation. Research between YouTube and Google. You can find out a whole lot of information. Sometimes plugging it in and I've done that. Like I've resorted to, I don't know a solution. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to do. Sometimes I've just plugged it in and Googled it. And there were occasions where I was surprised to find options that I had never considered, or I didn't even know were options. Or I saw something that wasn't an option, but then it triggered something else. So look at your guidance, some advice, research to help you make a decision. Then prepare yourself for whatever the outcome may be. If the outcome is this, I'm going to prepare myself for this. If the outcome is this, I'm going to prepare myself for this. If it's a favorable outcome, great. If it's not, and I've got these options of these different things that can occur, then I need to brace myself for that and deal with that when it comes. I may not like it. It may not be comfortable, but I'm going to have to deal with whatever it is, right? And then play it out to the end. Whatever it is, it's going to, we hear a lot of times, it is what it is. It is what it is. So sometimes you're just going to have to play it out and just let it, and just let it play out to the end. And I know that is not an easy thing. Trust me. I've been in that situation myself where the outcome is not going to be pretty. But I've learned, and I'm a witness, that there's life on the other side of that outcome of whatever it is. There's life on the other side of it. So begin to focus on that once you get through this particular thing. Whatever it could be pain that you're dealing with. It could be hurt. It could be anger that you have to deal with to get on the other side of it. But deal with those emotions so that you can get on the other side of it. And sometimes in the 11th hour, sometimes there's victory at the buzzer. In sports where you've seen a basketball game or a football game, in the final seconds, somebody scores a goal or someone scores a basket. That winning goal, that winning basket. That could be your situation. I've had that happen as well, where it just looked like the outcome was not going to be favorable. And then in the final hours or days or seconds or whatever it was, it turned out okay. It turned out okay. So in life, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be dealt some hands. We're going to have to deal with those hands that we have been dealt. But if we deal with them with courage, we deal with them with grace, with wisdom, with common sense, with faith, we can get through to the other side. And as we're dealing with the situation that we're in, it's like none that we have ever been in before. And I realize that. And I don't have all the answers for you. But what I can tell you is that when you wake up every day, just wake up and just be present. Be in that moment. Be in that day. Be present. I'm going to get through today. Because when we start thinking about what's going to happen 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, that's when those mind games start. Just get up every day. Thank God for waking you up for another day, and just be present and get yourself through that day. And at the end of that day, you can look forward to the next day and the next day and the next day. I hope this helps someone. Like I said, Fit at 60 and Beyond is not just about physical fitness. It's about your holistic fitness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So I hope that helped you. Make sure you subscribe if you like what you hear and like what you see. You can subscribe to a YouTube channel. My website is paulagvoice.com. Social media generally is Paula G Voice, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me. You can also email me, paula@paulagvoice.com. Thank you all, your first timers. Thank you so much. Those who have been on the journey with me for a while, I thank you all so much for your continued support. And until next time, embrace the journey. All right, gang. What we're going to work on today are our triceps, which is the back of our arm right here. And it's just very relatively simple. I'm just sitting on the steps. I'm just sitting on the steps. My hands, you're elongating your body, shoulders are back, abs are in, back is straight. Your arms are right here. And all you're doing is just sliding your tush off the step, and you're coming down and up, down and up. However many you can do. If you can only do 5, do 5. If you can only do 2, do 2. If you can do 30, do 30. However many that you can do, down and up. You can adjust the intensity. I'm just sitting comfortably on the step. I just simply slid off the step, down and up. You want to take your feet down. My feet are now all the way down on the floor. My legs are straight, coming down. It's a little bit more. I just kicked the stand, but it's that's a little bit more challenging, coming down and up, okay? You've got to adjust the intensity to wherever your level is. If you have never exercised before, if you've never worked out before, it's okay. Just slide off, come down and up. If you can only do 1, that's cool. That's okay, yes. If you can only do 1, come back tomorrow, hit that same step, do 1, and then do 1 more. Celebrate the 2 that you do the next day. The next day you come back, do 1, do 2, and do 3, okay? Celebrate your small victories. You don't have to go all out in the beginning. It's not about going all out in the beginning. It's about starting those small steps, celebrating those small victories and building. And before you know it, you'll be doing 10 of them or 15 of them easy. All right? I hope that helps. And like I said before, this segment is not necessarily a full workout. It's just some suggestions for you. Some suggestions for you while you're on your journey, okay?